Well, there are really a number of different factors that would come into play to determine whether or not the remains of some animal would actually be preserved. So first there would be some sort of environmental factors. So after an organism dies, its remains can be rapidly degraded through processes like decomposition, through physical abrasion or physical destruction. Oftentimes it's scavenged by some sort of other animals that are eating the remains. There could be chemical alteration as well. So those types of things can happen really rapidly, sometimes maybe before burial, oftentimes even after burial as well. So certain environments will actually be much more likely to preserve a fossil if they have those processes occurring at a lower rate for some reason. So maybe an aquatic environment that doesn't have as much oxygen, so decomposition wouldn't happen as quickly. Or maybe where the sedimentation rates are high, so that the remains would get buried rather rapidly. There are also different things we need to take into account about the actual organism itself. For instance, a soft-bodied organism is much less likely to be preserved than something that has hard parts, like bones, teeth, or scales, or something like that. And the likelihood of any one particular species actually getting preserved is dependent on how long that species is around in time, how widespread it is geographically, how large its population size is. So those are all factors intrinsic to the organism itself that would come into play. So taking all these things into account, the likelihood of any one thing actually being preserved is very, very unlikely. So the fossils that we do have and that we have actually discovered and described are actually a very, very small fraction of the animals that have actually lived on Earth.